guys, this is Cody here, and I'm bringing you another Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplay on the map Carrier. In this game, I'm going to be playing some Hardpoint, and really focus on the objective in this game. But, being my only second commentary, I just want to cover another topic and just get the nerves out of the way and get these easy commentaries that I know stuff about through. And today I'm going to talk about the argument of who's better between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, probably arguably one of the greatest players to ever play the game back in the 80s and 90s due to his 6 rings and 10 scoring titles and Defensive Player of the Year. Most people argue that he's the guy that pretty much laid the pathwork for what is a good player in basketball. And every single year that LeBron's been in the league, they've been comparing him to Michael Jordan, and of course people like Charles Barkley or whoever will say that he's not even close to MJ. But it's hard for us people of this generation, especially that are like 17 and younger like myself, to actually just decide if MJ was actually better or if LeBron's better. But I'm going to give my take just trying to base it on the stats. And if we look at MJ's stats, he averaged a NBA record of 30.1 points per game, and that's unparalleled. If you look at LeBron, he's only done that one season, and so it's quite a remarkable accomplishment. And then you look at his assists per game, and he had 5.3. So he still did get the ball to Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and people like that when he needed to. And he averaged 6.2 rebounds per game, which these are typical shooting guard stats. You don't really expect much more than this except for the points per game. And if you look at LeBron, his career totals are 27.6 points per game, and he has 6.9 assists per game, which is remarkably better than Michael Jordan's, and 7.2 rebounds per game, which is a complete rebound per game more than what Michael Jordan's is. And so basically, I'm just going to sit here and look like, based on what I've seen from LeBron James, I honestly think he's more of a better overall player than Michael Jordan. Yeah, Michael Jordan has 6 rings and LeBron has 1, but you got to think that LeBron still has another 8-9 years in the NBA. And I've watched Michael Jordan in 01 when he played for the Wizards, and of course he wasn't going to be that eye-popping of a character, but he was still pretty good. He still put up a lot of points, but he still wasn't the best. Like, if you look at Kobe Bryant now, he's about that age that Michael Jordan was, and he's still putting up way better stats than Michael did in that time period. And LeBron, he gets it to his teammates, and he tries to get them rebounds and stuff like that, things that can actually help the team as a whole instead of just putting the points up. And I've actually had arguments with people recently about this because people say, oh, LeBron has the people around him and all this stuff. LeBron had people around him for the past 2 years, yes, but in Cleveland, you got to think who was the big name there. You had Deontay West, which probably most people couldn't tell you who he plays for now. And then you had Antoine Jameson, who came in, who was expected to be better than what he was, but wasn't. You had Shaq in the late bit of his career, right before he went to Boston for his final season. He didn't really have high caliber like Michael Jordan did. And everybody's like, oh, these people aren't as good, Michael carried the team. Well, yeah, if you don't pass the ball and you shoot more, you're going to carry your team no matter if you carry him to a victory or you carry him to a loss. It's not really that, jaw-dropping. But, LeBron, he carried his team to championships by himself pretty much. And, Michael Jordan, he had Scottie Pippen, who was probably the most underrated point guard that's ever played the game, just for the simple and sole fact that he was under Michael Jordan. He still has pretty much just as many rings as Michael does, and if you think about it, he's still a great player. He's just not as esteemed as he is. Scottie Pippen had 20 points per game in his career, and that's something that you don't really see out of too many point guards. You can't really think of a great scoring point guard until recent years because of Stephen Curry and Russell Westbrook, who's pretty much like a shooting guard in essence. So, and then he also had like big man like Horace Grant and people that we don't understand, but other people are just pretty much tend to look over because they played in that day. And I think we have to just like sit there and look at like, if you've ever watched Michael Jordan, I'm sure you know you're like a great fan, but I mean you have to compare their games and see who did more for their team. And I mean they both did pretty much the same things in steals and blocks per game as the others, and they don't really turn the ball over. I mean, granted, it seems that nowadays that players don't really shoot free throws the way they should, but that's just the way the game is now. It's developed and evolved to passing the ball to other people and scoring it other ways. I mean, if you watch the All-Star game, you know, people fed it to LeBron, yeah, because he's a good player, but LeBron's a leader, like he leads his teams in. And if you watch the finals last year, it wasn't because of Dwayne Wade that they won that championship. It's because LeBron decided to put them on his back, and he decided that he wanted that ring and finally get all the people off of him. And I mean, if you look at it, LeBron really did carry the team last year, and Chris Bosh, while he was probably one of the biggest pipe shooters going in, you know, he can't really handle the big men down low. Or as we saw in the All-Star game Sunday night, he got pretty dominated by some point guards too. So I mean, he doesn't really handle the paint that well, so he lets up a lot of points, and he airballs a lot because he thinks he can take shots that he really can't, that he used to. And Dwayne Wade's just as old almost as Kobe, so he's not going to be able to shoot the ball and play as efficiently because Wade was out 90% of the season last season. But I mean, that's my take on it. And if you have something different, feel free to comment below, and I'll see what you have. And you know, just hopefully this went better than what I thought it would, and hopefully I can make something out of this because it's actually pretty fun once you get past the nerves actually doing this commentary. And hopefully in the future I can get my friend Hurley to do a dual comm with me. But I mean, he's still kind of chickened out right now because I don't know. I guess because he's afraid to get on YouTube and talk. But he has a pretty cool channel with his Mustang videos and stuff like that. If you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. And he also plays PS3 Call of Duty Black Ops 2 if you are into watching that. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'm going to leave his channel in the description.